And we are live. The 6 o'clock news. Breaking news. West Ham are fucking massive. That's all we need to say.
I will confirm that.
I wouldn't say it's breaking news. I think it's just common knowledge, isn't it?
Oh, I know. We need to. I might need to send like Trevor McDonald a DM and just get him to do it. Joe, like as a one-off, like pay him for like 40 quid just to go. Welcome to West Ham United. West Ham are fucking massive.
I've just got an idea off the back of that. I'll mention to Andy after the show. I've just got an idea what we might be able to do, mate, with that.
Yeah, definitely. Right, before we get introducing our guests, we've got another one in the green room. Let's thank our channel sponsors, Glaze Wires, Windows, Doors and Conservatories. Johnny's your man. And if you quote West Ham United, you get a discount in the London, Kent and Essex area. And of course, a big shout out again for Iron supporting food banks. If you can make any donation at any home game, and you can also follow them on all social media. Jazz, how are you?
I'm still on a high, like I said. Luckily, he was quite clever and booked today off because I knew it'd be a rough one for me. And yeah, I've just had my second rum and coke. I've done a lot of good things around the house, bit of DIY. So now I'm ready to go through it again, mate. Go through it again. Yeah.
Ian, how are you?
I am over the moon, mate. Couldn't be better. Couldn't be better.
That's nice to see.
I love your
James?
top. I love your top, Ian.
Thank
Lovely
you.
top, mate.
Thank you. I've been wearing it proudly all day. I even wore it to bed last night.
Lucky. Yes, that's got me. Oh, God. James, how are you?
Wonderful, mate. We're title contenders now, and even better than that. Do you know what I mean? Loving life.
Yeah, loving life. Adam, how are you?
Good as always. I think everyone's buzzing from yesterday, let's be honest. What a day yesterday. And we'll go through all obviously today, but yeah, relive it.
I'm still on cloud 9, mate. I'm not gonna lie. Bill, how are you?
All right, lads. Yeah, great. No, great. Thanks. Even though it's 24 hours on, still, I think it's quite sunk in yesterday. So no, absolutely buzzing, like the lads have said.
Yeah. And good evening, Mr. Archer.
Hi, Ryan. Thanks for joining us.
No. I'm going to get straight into it, gents. Starting 11 pretty much picked itself. Was anyone surprised, or was anyone maybe expecting Soufal coming in? But that's the only one what I was thinking about. Does anyone agree? Disagree?
I think Johnson deserves his place there, didn't he? He's been more consistent recently, certainly.
Well, it's his shirt now, isn't it? The way he's played.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't deserve to be dropped, so he's grabbed the opportunity with both hands, which is what you want for any player, including obviously young players as well.
Yeah, the only thing we were concerned about was that about three of them played nearly most of the game on Thursday, wasn't it? Which I wasn't happy about, but then that's why David's a manager, not me. Yeah.
Gents, obviously over the last, since the game, a lot of stuff. To be honest, I'm not really a TalkSport fan, but I've been listening to it for most of the day, and it's actually pleasant. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that people are starting to take us seriously and stuff like that. And a West Ham fan obviously called TalkSport up yesterday and said, at the minute we're title contenders, which is obviously mad to think. But we're going to get straight to the talking points in the game, and obviously, we got the opening goal. Couldn't ask for a better start, could we? Who are we picking on first? Adam.
Yeah, it was a brilliant start, wasn't it?
Could we, mate?
No. The one thing I was worried about going in yesterday's game was, what if Liverpool get an early goal? Will they just turn it on? Because that's what they're capable of. Once they get one goal, they're so dangerous. And thankfully, it was us that got that goal yesterday, because that meant that we had something to defend for the first half. I know we didn't obviously see it out till half time, but it just meant that going into the second 45 minutes, I think the players got a lot of belief. So, yeah, that early goal really did help us yesterday, big time. And it doesn't really matter how it goes in. They made a mistake. We obviously took the advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely. Ian, what did you make of the goal, mate?
I think it's been wrongly given as an own goal. It should have been Fornals' goal all the way through.
I thought this.
Absolutely blinding delivery. You had Ogbonna rising like a salmon. Didn't quite get his head on it, but did enough to put off Alisson. And away we go, 1-0, happy days. Couldn't have asked for a better start. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, no, definitely. James, do you want to add anything, mate?
It was key to score first against them. Like, if we would have went 1-0 down, they would have counter-attacked us and blew us away, I think. Us scoring a goal helped us to maintain and defensively be solid against them. But yeah, great start. Antonio, mate, what he was doing to the goalkeeper, when you sort of look at it in hindsight, you think, bloody hell, he was using his loaf there. And that's been worked on in the training ground, 100%, and putting pressure on Alisson. But yeah, great start. Great start.
Yeah. Bill, who do you reckon he learnt that from? Antonio, do you have any idea? I don't know. It's hard to think that, really.
I don't know. Paul Nevin, maybe. I don't know. No, I think as the lads have said, it's the perfect start. And we all said beforehand, before the game that the corresponding game last season where we made it too easy for Liverpool, and then that opening 5 minutes was the complete opposite of it. So it was the absolute perfect start. Doesn't matter how it goes in, as long as it's legal, which it was. It was checked obviously a couple of times, and it was all fine. So yeah, perfect start.
I just want to give a shout out to Grant because Grant's been following us since the start, really. And it was actually nice to meet a face to a name, and I met him and his boy yesterday. Jazz, did you speak to Grant yesterday as well?
I remember nothing. You know me. I probably did.
God.
Yeah. I think I did. Yeah, but yeah, next day's like.
Jazz, we'll start again. Did you think you met Grant yesterday?
Yeah, really nice. Grant, lovely to meet you. Grant, help me. Did you meet me? Let's put it that way.
God,
I'll swing it on you. Did you see me? You must have, because I was next to Marzi anyway. Yeah, hopefully.
I know. We heard you. Oh my God! Here we go. Ready? You ready for this, Jazz?
Let's go.
Jazz gave me a gun. No chance here. Remember?
That's me. That's me all over. That's me all over. When we come back to punch the wife and say, "Do you know what you did yesterday?" I know.
Oh. Well, at least we can say you're a lover, not a fighter, Jazz.
Oh, definitely on days like yesterday. Anyway, it means a lot to me. Like I don't have to, mate. I hate Liverpool. Tottenham for me, brilliant. And the last 3 weeks been a dream. Brilliant.
Oh my God, mate! Literally, this is just like yesterday's show all over again. It's like flashbacks when I watched it back as well. Yeah. Mr. Duke's in the building as well. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Who else we got? Got Ricky. Moyes picked out Alisson as a weak point. I agree. Brilliant. And Kent Eden, lads. For me, Mr. Klopp. Yeah, we'll get on to that, Kent. Definitely. I know what it was. Talking points. What I want to talk about was obviously after that was the incidents involving Angelo Ogbonna. Obviously, being at the ground, you sort of... I'm at the other end, so I didn't really see him. And the best person to probably ask is Bill. Did you see anything in the stand yesterday with him and Jota?
Well, when Ogbonna was injured?
Yeah.
It's all because a few players were in front of each other, so it's hard to see the actual incident. Next thing you know, the ball's out of play. I look and Ogbonna's down on the floor, so it's a bit hard to... I tried to look on the Sky highlights, but they didn't include that incident.
Nothing on Match of the Day either, Bill.
Yeah, nothing. It was hard to. Yeah, it looked like the way it was holding him. It looked like he twisted his knee, or he got a knock something, but couldn't quite say. As I say, there's a few players in the way.
Yeah, obviously. The one thing we know about players, when they go down, there is something up with us. We don't play act, so that we knew.
We knew something's up. Yeah.
And when I looked at the incident, a few of it's been obviously some replays are being shown on Twitter today. Maybe I should have sent the link to everyone so they could have a look. In my opinion, he meant that elbow, Jota. He meant that. Has anyone else seen the replay or agree?
I've seen it. Yeah. Yeah. What's happening is they're doing it in a way where they're not looking, but they definitely know where their head is. That's what's happening. I've seen it a couple of times this season now. And when you do it, you know you've connected, and at least turn around and make sure is the guy all right. Don't even look, and then you know they've done it. But they wouldn't even look back to say, oh, sorry about that, mate. You all right? Yeah, not even. Terrible,
I've just seen it, Andy, and that's very he knew what he was doing, Jota.
Professional, isn't it?
Yeah. That was no accident.
But just to let you know, all investigations have been done and no further action will be taken, Jota. What a surprise.
Well,
Wow,
I think that
lovely.
you've made a mistake here. So I'm just looking at the background. You've spelt Liverpool with an E rather than an A because it should be VAR.
Yeah.
They've never had a decision go against them.
We never have, mate. And when VAR first came, I was happy because before VAR, if you remember, oh my God, it was even worse. And then, yeah, hopefully VAR will get better and stop those kind of things. But it is annoying. And if you remember what Matic done on Kufal, never got picked up, no reprimand, nothing. And this again, match today, I was watching it, and then the bit said, "Oh, Ogbena's gone off such and such numbers," and I'm like, I can't believe this. 2 times and you're not going to show any of it. But they kept on replaying the Cresswell incident over and over again. Yeah.
This is my problem. It's a big club bias thing. Like there was so much talk yesterday, social media. I mean, Carragher alluded to it on the Sky panel with saying Cresswell should have gone on all this. There was nothing mentioned about Jota in the whole thing, and if anything, it was worse. And it's not once been discussed about. But yeah, I don't really care now. Obviously, we've won, but hopefully Ogbona's all right because the knee with the injury is bad enough, let alone taking one to the face like that. But
yeah, plus we had Matic on Sufel. That wasn't
awful.
Nothing happened.
Nothing
happened with that either. So yeah,
again, another case of our players not making the most of it. I know that's brilliant, but I keep saying maybe do we need to do a bit more to get the? I don't know, but we're proper men, but the referees are not picking it up.
The technology is there. It's meant to be there to pick up things like this. And then it's not doing it, so that's wrong.
And Antonio, Bill, a couple of times they had their hands around his throat twice, and he didn't go down, didn't get a free kick, mate. Yeah.
And Duke's saying here as well, he turned his back and deliberately jumped into him. James, you want to add anything, mate? Sorry, I think everyone's jumped in front of you.
Hi, Duke.
That's right, mate. That's right. Listen, I said to you yesterday. I said it was naughty. He knew what he was doing. He knew Bonner was behind him. And he gave him a little sharp one in the boat race. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's a foul, and it's when there's claret coming out of the geezer's face, then you've got to start wondering how did he get that. But yeah, I agree. Liverpool was trying for everything, mate. That first half, Liverpool was just as bad as the ref, mate. That referee was absolutely shocking, mate, and should never ref in the Premier League ever again. For me, Craig Paulson, shocking.
We'll have no refs left, I don't think.
It's a regular occurrence at our ground. I don't know any other ground what goes on, but our ground, it's awful all the time, And Adam, do you remember when we finally got decision after about 49 minutes? The crowd erupted as though a goal had occurred. Is that?
Yeah, I was celebrating.
Definitely. The next incident, what we want to talk about, Adam sort of touched on it, is the incident with Jordan Henderson and Aaron Cresswell. Obviously, this has been blown up into proportion. To be honest, I've not listened to Shite Gallagher's what he thought of it on the Ref Watch on Sky. I normally watch that every week just to laugh and how bad the refereeing decisions are. I actually done a poll today from my Twitter, and 116 people voted on this.
Wow!
And it's actually very close. The votes. 55% say it wasn't a red card and 45% said yes. So, obviously, I'm not saying I did tag like West Ham, like Liverpool, obviously, to try and get some other people, but I'd probably say at least half, well, more than half would be West Ham fans. So, when you sort of look at it, we'll go around the room. We'll start with you, Jazz. Do you reckon it was a red card? Do you reckon we got away with it?
I would have given a yellow. I would have given somewhere meet in the middle, giving him a yellow because the foot is high, but him getting the ball saved him, I think. He was reckless, but he's not that kind of player. You got to look at a lot of things. Kersley's not that kind of player as well. If that was maybe a Roy Keane back in the day or Dix, then you would think differently. But I would have given him a yellow. I think that's fair. I think, yeah.
Ian, what about you, mate?
I agree with Jazz. I think we've seen them given as red cards throughout the season. So when it first went in, I was like, oh no, here we go. We've scored a goal and now we're going to be a player down. So I think he was lucky not to receive a straight red, but I say ticking off seemed to have done the job because he settled into the game nicely after that. But I do think we were a little bit lucky with the VAR sort of going for us at that point.
Yeah, no, definitely. Bill?
Yeah, I completely agree with what the lads have said. if it's one of them challenges where 20 years ago, that's nothing. That's gets the crowd up. But in today's football, yeah, possibly got away with it, but it was checked, and there we are. That's what the technology's there for. I don't think it wasn't a particularly clear and obvious error, and hence why the decision wasn't reversed. But you could see why, if it was given a red, I don't think the VR would have changed their mind if it was given. So it's one of them.
Yeah, no. The one thing I will say, Adam, before I get your say on it, do you reckon that will say the fact that we were at home? Do you reckon that made a difference? If that was at Anfield, do you reckon that would have been a red?
Well, it shouldn't be, but unfortunately, it probably is. I agree with the boys. I think, it's a yellow card. The thing is, he's got the ball, isn't he? It's just a follow through. And I think if he had actually made a little bit more contact with Hendo's knee, I think he is gone, if I'm honest with you. I think he got out of it just in time. But it is a shame that we are discussing the fact where if it was a particular ground, would he have gone? Because it's a football game. It's the same rules for the same game. But it just seems to be that each decision is done in terms of what time the game it's in or whatever, which it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just football these days, I'm afraid.
Yeah. James, you want to add anything? You're answering the next question anyway. We'll be going backwards, so I don't know if people probably said what you wanted to say.
I agree with what Jazz said about the yellow card. I think he gets a lot of the ball. I think the follow through it's not full on his leg, but it's this sort of grazes his leg and he goes over. But what makes you laugh is Jordan Henderson on the floor rolling about, and within about 90 seconds he's up running around the pitch again. And he was. Let's be honest, I think Jordan Henderson helped the situation along with the Liverpool players in that situation because they didn't go round the ref and bombard him and he's rolling around on the floor like maybe a foreign player would have done. Do you know what I mean? So I think the yellow was about right for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Kent sort of says that as well. It's an amber. It's not a red, but not a yellow. It's sort of probably. You're right. It probably is. It probably is in between. I don't want to talk about how many blue cards I've got on 7-a-side before, but that will save that for another day.
That's a left back for you, isn't it? Is he left back?
Yeah. Apparently, there was a sending off which was very similar. Talksport saying lack of. Yeah, to be honest, I think Talksport say anything just for anyone to bring up. Duke saying Cresswell yellow and Jota a red. Sammy's asking, where's Dyer? I don't know.
I think he's having a bit of time
time away,
mate. Yeah. Rest and relaxation after his audio.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hope he is well. But next important thing, James, we'll start to you. Salah's been called up for the Egypt Olympic squad for diving in the next Olympics. Do you reckon he's got made the team? Yeah, do you reckon he's going to get gold?
Fucking 100% made that team, mate. Absolute. I was going berserk in here. No, when I was watching it, I was going absolutely mental. I could not believe that they give that as a free kick. Don't get me wrong. I'll give Salah some credit. He done a good bit of skill. But he's running into traffic. He's running into players, basically. And as soon as he runs into that, I can't remember what it was. I think it was Rice or Cresswell or something. It was someone like that. And he just runs into him and just falls over. And it was like, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, right. And as soon as I see where it was, I'm thinking, I fear this now because this is right. This is in his range. And then he goes and sticks in the top living corner. Do you know what I mean? And Salah. I'm glad he didn't score yesterday. That's the only good thing about it. Do you know what I mean? I really am.
Yeah. Adam, do you want to add anything, mate?
It's one of them things. It's a modern day foul, unfortunately. The players go down so easy these days, and they buy a free kick, and he done exactly that because he wasn't going anywhere really. Minus obviously the bit of good skill he done, turn, drop of the shoulder, whatever. But yeah, like we just reiterated, it's just one of them things. As soon as you see the free kick given, you just think that's going in the back of the net because they've got so much quality around the ball from that distance. And to be fair to Trent, it was a cracking free kick, and I don't even really think if you had 2 or 3 Fabianskis in the goal, you'd been saving that. If I'm honest with you, because it was just world class.
Yeah. We'll get James's opinion because James, we sort of discussed that yesterday with regards to that, Bill. Probably 2 questions. For you, because Adams sort of mentioned it. One, obviously, the free kick. Do you think it was a foul? And secondly, was Fabianski's positioning wrong do you reckon he could have been a bit more over? I'm not saying he would have saved it, but did he give him too much room?
Well, yeah, the free. I'm sat in the bottom or upper, so I had a decent view of it, and even from there, it looked soft as shit. I haven't seen the replay of it, but I don't think I need to because it looks horrendously soft anyway from when the game was live. The free kick, is well taken by Alexander-Arnold. Obviously, his technique's absolutely outstanding for a fullback. He's absolutely brilliant, and it's that far out, or in terms of near the edge of the box. It's like taking a penalty for him. You just know he's gonna bury it. And when it's that close in, it's hard for a goalkeeper. Where do you stand? Because no matter where you stand, it's not that far out, especially with someone of his free kick potential. So very harsh on Fabianski. As Adam said, I don't think put 2 or 3 of them in there. And there was enough whip on the ball. There was enough pace. It wasn't like he just floated it over. He just whipped it in. You have to take your hats off to him. Excellent free kick. Yeah,
no, definitely. Ian, do you want to add anything, mate?
I think that they had a game plan to deal with Salah last night, and Declan Rice obviously left his leg in for that first one. After that, you didn't see anyone. They just stood him up, didn't even go for the tackle, just blocked him out the goal, and it worked wonders. I think they knew he was going down. It doesn't generally take a touch for him to go down, but say Rice left his leg in, so it's soft. In regards to Fabianski, I don't want to see him in the goal anymore. He's rooted to the spot, and he's been fantastic for us the last couple of years. But he's lost a step in the last 6 months. I think it's time to give Areola a proper stint in the Premier League.
Yeah. To be honest, I criticise him because I think he should have been more over. But like me and Jazz have been saying it for weeks. How much when you've got someone as Areola, in my opinion, obviously it'll be France's number one. Obviously, when Hugo Lloris retires. But apart from that, obviously he made a good save from the reaction, which we'll probably get on. He hasn't really done a foot wrong in the last 3 or 4 games. Even his distribution. Do you see what I mean? Like, in my opinion, I think. But even yesterday, Jazz, wasn't it? He was even kicking it.
But if you notice, we're so good defensively, we don't give away too many shots on goal. And the one save that looked like in the ground was good. When I saw it back on the match today, it was straight at him. Yeah. It wasn't a good save as much as I thought. And I agree with Ian that when it's in either corner of him, he can't get to it. If it's straight at him, that's fine. He can grab it. He's a good shot stopper. But if it's going a bit far from him, I'm not sure if he can really go down on the left.
It's hard, harsh, Jazz. It's hard for any.
If
the player in the Premier League is putting the ball in the corner, not a lot of keepers are saving. That's like world class.
You can have 2 goalkeepers in there; they wouldn't save that free kick.
That's really, really harsh.
I think his playing position was wrong for the free kick. I don't agree with it.
But where do you expect him to stand? If it's that close in, where do you expect him to stand?
No, you stand at one end and you make the wall cover the other side, and I just don't. I think he got it all.
Yeah, but from that close in, it's hard to do that.
I think you've got to respect Trent's ability rather than Fabianski's fault. Do you know what I mean?
The free kick's quality.
I think Fab, I agree with what Andy just said there. Let's be honest, we all know, as West Ham fans, Areola's the better goalkeeper. We can all say it, we're all not blind by it. But Fabianski hasn't done anything wrong. He's kept a clean sheet against Everton, kept a clean sheet against Tottenham. He played well. He done a great save last week against Villa at 2-1 up, Fab, and pushed it onto the crossbar. You've got to respect him for what he's done so far. And until he makes an absolute howler, then Areola gets his chance. But until then, Fab's done nothing wrong, mate, to be justified being dropped. Because that could cause in-house problems there. Fab's been the number 1 goalkeeper for a long time. And then also you just drop him, and then people are going to say, well, what are you dropping him for? He ain't done nothing wrong. And
he can't be doing too bad. We're 3rd in the league. Can't be doing too bad, mate.
I agree,
Adam, do you want to add anything, mate?
Well, I think the plan at the club is they've got Areola on loan to see if he settles in, and if he does settle in, then we keep hold of him next season, and he will be the number 1. I've stand by that from day one, and I think, to be honest, what Moyes is doing is brilliant. He's getting him in the Europa League games because we've got the fixtures. It just means Fabianski can have a sit down and shit up for the weekend. He's playing the cup games, and I mean Areola was brilliant, wasn't he, against Man City the other day? So I can understand why fans are wanting him to play over Fabianski. But as James has just said, like last week when we played Villa, that save at 2-1 does not get spoken enough about. That save literally won us the game because that was their best chance after that, after they went down to 10 men, and obviously. And we've end up going on to win the game 4-1. Kept clean sheets in other games as well. There's no reason to drop him. And like I said, we're winning games. I don't really see why we need to change anything when it's working at the moment.
What it is, we all know, listen, as and I agree, we all know Areola is the better goalkeeper. He will be the future number one if our owners decide to sign him. Like, because I'm hearing things about Sam Johnson, which I don't like to hear. But yeah, if Areola is our number one goalkeeper, we've got a phenomenal goalkeeper there. But as I say, Fabianski has kept us in games before. Like, there's saves he's done that he don't really get a lot of credit for. Don't get me wrong, he's made a couple of little rickets, like against Brentford being one of them in the last minute. But he's done all right. He's done all right. And
he also had a top game against Tottenham as well. And no one talks about... Yeah. I always reiterate, Areola loves a punch. Fabianski in the last minute at Tottenham came miles out and took a catch, and literally that killed the game for them in the last minute. That's the one thing that stands out for me. I think he's quite calm, Fabianski, and I like that in a goalkeeper, to be honest.
His time will come. Areola's time will come.
All in good time, yeah.
Right, so we've got to half time now, gentlemen. Obviously, it was 1-0. I'm going to give you a couple of stats for us because I like to mix it up a bit. West Ham have won 7 of their first 11 Premier League only for the second time. The last time we done it was 1975 and 1976 season. Yeah, and most Premier League points since New Year's Day. Man City 83, Chelsea 67, West Ham 65, and we're not even at the end of the calendar year yet. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
we're flying with it.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And I'll give you another one. David Moyes has earned his first win in 15 Premier League meetings with Liverpool. So his first win in 15 games. So his last one was Everton. That's mad. Absolute mad when you think about it. Like I said, I'm up to Fornals' goal, so I watched the game back because I recorded it from Sky. So obviously I'm up to there, and I've watched a bit of Match of the Day too. So you sort of go over, and I've got to put my hands up, gents. Do you remember yesterday I was slagging Jamie Carragher off because I heard a few people saying actually listening to some commentary on the game yesterday. He was actually praising us quite a lot. I didn't actually realise. And I'm going to put my hands up and actually say he was actually not just on Liverpool's side yesterday. So, from what I said yesterday, before I get any stick, that's what I'm just putting my hands up and saying that. And he said it. West Ham are up there in the league for counter attack. Liverpool were pressing for that. At the start of the second half, we'll start with you, Bill, this time. Do you reckon? Obviously, before the goal. Liverpool didn't really create any chances. Moyes' game plan was working, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, look, no matter who you're playing against, especially the top sides, you want to be in the game and going into the second half. And we were more than giving Liverpool a game. And apart from the free kick, I think Jota had a header that went over, and Alexander-Arnold had a volley that went wide, and that was it. We were defending it manfully, and even when Dawson come on, he instead of Ogbonni, he done very well. So yeah, I thought there's more chances to create because. Even though Liverpool got fantastic defenders, obviously Virgil van Dijk, one of the best in the league, he's still coming back from injury. So, and as Brighton showed in the previous game and the 2-2 and Brentford, that was 3-3. So they've been conceding a few goals. So I felt we could create some chances, especially on the counter where they do play a high line. We've got Alexander-Arnold and Robertson who fly forward at all occasions. They leave that space in behind. So there was that opportunity to hit them on the break and use our speed up front and just being direct and following on what Brighton did because they flew forward a lot of their midfielders like Lallana, obviously who played for Liverpool, and Mbeumo who scored a great goal for Brighton last week. So they all flew forward and that's what happened with Fornals' goal. Bowen did brilliantly, a lovely ball, and could question the goalkeeper, but Fornals got it on target. That's what you can do.
Yeah, no, definitely. Ian, do you want to add anything, mate?
Yeah, I think we're starting to see now composure in that attacking lineup. We've been getting up the pitch really well recently, And I think we would have scored more goals this season, but the composure in that final ball's been a bit poor at times. But
yeah,
Jared Bowen to say hold his player off, put the ball through, and that composure for Fornals just to slot it away was absolutely fantastic. And long may it continue.
Yeah, no, definitely. James?
I thought the second half, I thought we come out and we looked the real deal, mate. The real deal. I thought Trent Alexander-Arnold kept drifting to midfield, and I think Moyes spotted that at half time and said, right, get the ball to Ben Rama and Cresswell on the left-hand side and expose the space. And I must admit, they worked well together, going down, attacking. Obviously, we hit the crossbar with Dawson before we scored. Ball come in, it's crossbar, smashed off there.
I thought it was in. I'm at the other end. I thought it was in. I was up. I was up. I'm not going to lie. I thought
another great ball in, and yeah. But the goal itself, I thought Bowen was. I don't want to be critical of him, but I thought he was defensively not there yesterday. I think Ben Johnson got him out of a lot of trouble, and the space he kept leaving Robinson. From what I was watching, I'm like, he's like 5-10 yards away from Robinson every time. But Bowen picks the ball up, runs through like Jesse Lingard did last year, and that pass into Fornals. And fair play to Fornals, because everyone knows I'm a bit of a love-hate relationship with Fornals. Great finish. But he was the best player on the pitch by a country mile yesterday. Absolutely. First class. And top class finish from him to go 2-1 up.
Yeah, Kent's just made a very good point now. I didn't realise. Do you reckon Areola's on a minimum appearance, so we have to sign him anyway? That might be right. Maybe if it's like 12, 15 games or something, then we automatically, it was the same with,
Craig Dawson?
Yeah, Craig Dawson. Yeah, that's the one, mate. Yeah. Thank you. Adam, do you want to add anything, mate?
I felt it was a really good team goal, to be honest. I thought Bowen actually was probably one of our worst players yesterday, but that's what good players do. They have their moments where they can just pick up the ball and scare the opposition. And his turn of pace a couple of times in the second half actually was pretty impressive. I think there was even one time he even took on Salah for pace down the wing. I think I remember put the ball over. So there is moments with Bowen where sometimes I think he could do a little bit more on the consistency over a game, but that moment in particular yesterday where he's picked up the ball and took on about 2 or 3 players. And it's a good weighted pass as well, because he could have easily played it to Antonio, who just straight offside, actually.
Yeah.
So it was good decision making. And so we got a bit of a luck with the finish or whatever, but we take those. And as James said, I thought Fornals was terrific yesterday and definitely the man of the match. Just his work rate was excellent and he deserved his goal there.
Yeah. Jazz, do you want to add anything, mate?
Yeah, when you look at that goal, actually, Bowen picks up the ball well inside our area, and he's got 4 or 5 defenders around him, and he takes it all the way up the pitch, a bit like Maradona in his time, and releases it in perfect time. It's so perfect, it does nearly look offside, but it ain't quite, and it's good for Fornals. Obviously, like Ian was saying, when we usually get down to that end, we don't usually come off, does it, Ian? We usually get a bit reckless, but he kept his head. And it kind of slowly bobbled in. It took forever to go over the line, and we're really happy about it. So, yeah, it's really good. And I suppose with Klopp watching Bowen, he had a little bit of an edge to his game at times, I think. Yeah.
Gary, I'm not ignoring your questions. You've asked 2, and I'll ask them to the panel at the end because it will sort of tie in. And Duke, with regards to Areola, Duke said it's 25 in all competitions, apparently.
Oh,
and then we have to sign him. So yeah, we may see him in goal at the end of the season. So a few minutes later, gentlemen, surprise, surprise, we get obviously Antonio. I think I sort of said it yesterday, and I think we sort of said it well, James, correct me if I'm wrong. Me and Jazz may have said it yesterday. Antonio had a bad game, but a good game because he isolated Matip and Van Dijk. They didn't know how to deal with him, and that's why we had that space. And obviously, him doing what he done, we got the corner and then the goal. We'll start with you, James. What did you make of Antonio's performance before we got that?
He was a nuisance. But he didn't do anything of any note. It was other players around him who was doing it, like Fornals. I think Ben Rama worked hard. Bowen. Going forward was okay, was pretty decent, but defensively weren't there. But I must admit, Antonio, when I watched it back, 'cause I've watched it back a few times. You've got to give him some credit because of what he does to the goalkeeper on both set pieces, especially on Zuma's goal. He stands in front of the goalkeeper, Rice blocks Van Dijk running, and Zuma's just there, mate. And once Zuma's there with a free header, it's going in the back of the net, isn't it? Let's be honest. But I thought Antonio was decent. He was okay. He was okay.
Yep. Bill?
Yeah, pretty much agree with what James said. I think he made a lot of unselfish runs, which when he weren't picked out, and he created the space as Gary's rightly mentioned in the live chat. He made a lot of runs to create space for others, which as a lone forward you got to do. So yeah, he played decently. Obviously, didn't get on the score sheet or anything, but he made a valuable contribution. Wouldn't quite say he was man of the match like he was given in the stadium, which was bizarre to put it that way. But our expressions when we were in there was a sight to behold. But no, he played okay. He played his part, but others just played better than him.
Adam, before I asked you, obviously when you're at the game, it's a bit different than when you watch it on Sky because obviously most of the time Sky's blocking the ball. I don't know whether you've noticed it. Antonio seems to be more and more vocal. I don't know whether that's confidence as well, but he's sort of demanding and sort of telling Fornals and Benrahma what he's doing. Have you just noticed that, or is it just me?
Probably you, to be honest. But if you have seen it, then it wouldn't surprise me because you've got to bear in mind he's one of the most experienced players out there. Let's be honest. We've got quite a young side in some aspects. Obviously, we've got a few more experienced players, but Antonio's played loads for us now. He's one of the longest serving players in that first team, and so be it. Like a bit of experience doesn't help, does it? Well, it does help, but you know what I mean. It helps out the other players and everything. But yeah, he did have a great game yesterday. To be honest, I thought his passing was wayward. He gave the ball away sloppily from throw-ins and holding the ball up, which put us on the back foot a little bit. So I wasn't actually too impressed with it. Although he wasn't horrendous, because like you say, for the goals, he was a nuisance. I do fear that if we want to progress and we want to try and push for a top four, obviously game by game, the wheels could fall off any game. Let's be honest, we've seen it in the past. But if we do want to kick on, we do need a striker in January just to give him a little bit of the less pressure to one side and let someone else help him out up top. Because if he doesn't have a good game, you're just chucking Bowen up there. And as much as I like Bowen, I don't think he's a striker. Even though he's played a couple of times, he's done well. But you want a natural number 9.
Ian, is Jesse Lingard the answer?
No, not for me. Not for the price Man United want to sell him for. He was great for us, and said it for a long time. He should never fall in love with a lone player, although that was very hard not to do. But I think Jesse Lingard's best season is last year. I don't.
Ian, you saw that goal at OS, mate. What a goal! The one they beat us with, that was world class finish. You talk about price. I think with 4 months to go in January, perhaps.
His price on the drop now. His price on the drop.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know.
Well, you got to look at this. People thought Craig Dawson was rubbish, and then he turns up, and we're thinking we're getting Tarkowski. I think we
end up with Virgil van Dawson.
That's what I'm saying. And like, you got. I think Jesse Lingard. You got to look at it like this. Is he going to strengthen our team? And the answer to that is yes. If he comes in, he knows the players. Yeah. He's a confidence player. He scores goals. He makes goals. I think it's just a
no-brainer for me. No-brainer.
No, 100%. You can't turn players of that quality down. I don't care if he's going to play straight away. You look at the difference he made, winning mentality. Same with Zuma. Look at the difference he's made. You need those type of players and characters.
I'm just concerned, as you said earlier, with taking Fabianski out. You drop Benrahma, Fornals, or Bowen. They're all tenacious, aren't they? This season. Don't get me wrong.
I'm sure there'll be injuries and that as well to come.
Don't get me wrong. I and Jez have known me a while, right? And I've been supporting the Benrahma train for a long, long time. But I want to see Benrahma play with Lingard, and that's what I want to see. I want to see like a frightening attack because I do believe we've got top players in our ranks, but we just need help. Like I've seen a lot on YouTube and all that with different platforms and people saying, well, Moyes can't find a striker. I'm sorry, but I just don't believe a word of that. I believe that there's millions of players on this planet Earth, and we can't go and find a striker to be a backup to Antonio. We need to go and make sure we get a striker at this club, because teams with one striker don't win things, and I want to win something this year.
The only thing I would say to that, though, not many players are going to want to come in and be a backup. Let's be honest. And Antonio has been undroppable at times this season.
I don't know, Adam. Let's be honest. If you're coming to a club who's flying in the league, the third in the league, you're fighting on all fronts. You're going to play, ain't you? Let's be honest.
And you're fucking massive as well.
Right. And let's be honest, you're one of the best.
Jazz, sorry, the way you keep speaking in, and when you're doing analysis earlier, I forgot to say it. You just remind me of like a commentator, and I'm just getting ready to go.
Yeah.
John Watson.
Yeah.
On Sky Sports Fan Zone back in the day. In that little box.
Just Jazz, his mic, and his rum.
Same again, landlord. Cheers.
But I can't believe I didn't put this on as a bet, because I said this on Saturday on our preview. West Ham are going to win 3-2 and Zuma's going to score.
Wow.
Mate.
Bill, when that goal went in, our fucking lad was at London Stadium.
Oh, mate, yeah. I think it's someone put in the chat earlier. That's probably up there with the best atmospheres since we moved there. And that third goal was just the absolute epicenter of it, wasn't it? No, it was brilliant. Obviously, to go in the lead was fantastic, but to extend the lead, and obviously for a popular player in Zuma to get his first goal, the place was bouncing. It was a great place to be.
Mm.
A good delivery by Bones, as well.
Yeah. Ian?
I love a header. If I'm honest, I love a header. I love seeing players rise like a salmon, and he's fantastic. He's been solid at the back, and now he's contributing to the attacking as well. I think we've sort of uncovered a diamond there that was maybe going to go to the wayside at Chelsea. He's come to us, and we've breathed new life into him. And I think we've got many years of a fantastic defender to represent us.
Buying someone in their prime, mate, is very rare, especially for defenders.
Yeah,
but for us. So, look, hopefully it continues.
Yeah, Adam, is that the loudest you've seen the London Stadium?
It's up there. I mean, there have been some good moments. To be fair, I thought actually the City in the Cup game was very good the other week as well.
Yeah,
the one that stands out for me was in our first season. Actually, we played Chelsea in the Cup and we beat them. That was pretty good that night.
That was good. Yeah,
there has been some top nights. With the goal though, I don't know what it is, but when we get a corner now, it just feels like a penalty.
Yeah,
and it also feels like when we used to have Pyatt and we used to get a free kick, we were like, "This is going in." That's a corner now.
Yeah,
that's how I feel every time because we're so dangerous from them. And I'm glad Zuma got his goal. Glad he got his goal.
Yeah. James, before I get on to you, obviously a few people were saying Zuma coming in, what kind of impact would he have? Are you surprised how well he's done?
Yeah, I am, mate, a little bit. Let's be honest, we've stolen him from Chelsea, haven't we? Really, we've mugged Chelsea for him. I think Chelsea have dropped a massive bollock in selling him to us.
We're taking their best centre back, aren't we, James? We're taking their best one. What a mess up.
And Jazz, you're not joking there, mate. When you look at their centre halves, you look at Zuma's one of the form players in the Prem at the minute. And that's no joke.
Chelsea haven't missed him though. They've only considered 4 goals.
Do you know what I mean? But
they ain't missed him.
I've got to admit, I thought that set piece was well worked on all fronts. Zuma's header, Rice's block on Van Dijk, and Antonio on the goalkeeper. And I think hats off to Nevin and Nolan for that, because whatever they're doing on that training pitch is working. And let's be honest, when we do get a corner, I fancy to score every time, or at least get something on target at least. And Zuma's a bargain, mate. And it's a joy when you can pick up players like that who come to your club and transform us. Because let's be honest, he's one of the best centre halves I've seen at West Ham for a hell of a long time. A hell of a long time.
In my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's only going to get better. I think we've not seen the best of him yet.
He's approaching his prime, or not in his prime.
Yeah,
I think what it is with him, I think he he relishes being the main man. Let's be honest. When he was at Chelsea, he was just another player at Chelsea, wasn't he? Let's be honest. He was not.
Been out on loan a couple of times as well.
Yeah, he was like a bit part player, but I think at West Ham, I think he looks at it and like, yeah, I'm the main boy here. I'm the main centre half here, and I think he relishes that. I think other players feed off that. I think Ben Johnson looks a hell of a lot better when he's up there with him. I think Obonna's calmed him down because I was on something last night late, and someone said about I don't understand why Chelsea got rid of him. Is it because he was erratic and all that? But I think Obonna helps him a hell of a lot because Obonna's very calm and composed under pressure, so to speak. But yeah, he's class, man. He's class.
Yeah. Jump in after I say this, gents, but I want to give a shout out to, and Gary sort of mentioned it earlier, that's why I sort of wanted to wait. One, for Zuma moving over to the left centre back, and two, for Dawson. How good was Dawson yesterday when he come on? He made a couple of good interceptions. Do you think Johnson, like you said, we're seeing him like grow, but the fact that I think we done so well, the fact that I now understand why Dawson come on as well. So I don't think Diop would have been as vocal to Johnson as what Zuma and Dawson would be. So yet again, David Moyes has proved me on because I thought maybe Diop would have come on to try and deal with the pace, but we were dealing with it. Is Moyes just a tactical genius, Jazz?
I've heard Dawson is very influential in the dressing room. He is like a captain, which we wouldn't know from the outside. And in terms of set pieces, we spoke about it. People who played with him all their life, when he even went at youth level, they said there's no way to mark him. You can't mark him. So you got Zuma, you got Souček, and I thought Duke was going to come on, and that's why I'm not a manager because of the pace. But anything in the air, reading the game, like you said, sometimes if you haven't got the pace, but you got the brain to read a game. Like John Terry was never the quickest. Bobby Moore, people like that. If you're in the right position, then you can cover it. You can cover yourselves, I think, and it's just working well. Every piece that's going into that West Ham puzzle is just working. Even Johnson, I felt he needed to go out on loan at the beginning of the season. I felt, but then having thought about it, when you keep playing 20 minutes, you get taken out. Don't play for 2 games. Come back in for 40 minutes. It's going to be hard, isn't it? And if you're given a good run, then you can see the results.
But he's playing his natural position though, Jazz, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's playing like a right back and not a left back. So
and he's such a good character, like you said, when he's playing in the wrong position, he didn't seem to make a big fuss out of it. He just did it, didn't he? Good character, good kind of feet on the floor, good family, what I'm hearing, and a good cat. This is the type of people David wants. No big time Charlies, no moody people, really down to earth and a great team spirit. Yeah.
Yep. Ian, do you want to add anything, mate?
I think Jazz has hit the nail on the head there. Craig Dawson is essentially a freight train at corners, isn't he? He goes barreling in and tries to get his head on every time. But I think being maybe the elder statesman of the game, as he would now be classed, he's been there and done it. He's been in the relegation battles, so he's used to being bombarded, which is what Liverpool did after they scored the free kick. But he's just so calm. Which I don't understand how he manages it, but he does. He's replaced Ogbonna's calmness there, and some brilliant blocks from him as well. Puts his body on the line.
Another thing, Ian, he's only 31. We keep thinking he's older, isn't he? He's only 31. That's not bad. That's not really old, is it? Really, 31's all right.
Yeah. Adam, the 4 centre backs, what we've got, is that the best 4 centre backs in the league? If you put all 4 compared to other teams,
the only real team I could probably obviously the Man Cities and the Liverpools maybe, but if you're actually looking outside the top 6, and 100%, and if you want to put it into perspective, it's probably the best 4 centre backs I've seen at West Ham since being a fan. I actually was saying yesterday on my fan cam with West Ham Fan TV, I said that Zuma is probably the best signing since we've moved to the London Stadium. Of what I've seen at first hand in terms of his leadership qualities, how dominant he is in the air, and how does he steps up the team to us. I think players around him, like you said, with the likes of Johnson, when you've got someone that good next to you, you're going to up your game, aren't you? And like I said, with Dorsey, he was brilliant yesterday. Only a couple of times I thought he made a couple of sloppy passes, But I just think that's just more him. I think he's just played at no nonsense clubs who just want to launch the ball forward, and he's trying now to play out the back. You can understand why he makes the odd pass here and there, but he was solid, and he was unlucky with that header from the corner, as we said. And he had a good game, had a very good game.
Yeah, but Adam, when you think about this, Fabianski was a free transfer. Johnson is from the youth team. Dawson was 2 million. Capel was 5 million. You look at the Spurs 35 million centre fullbacks they've got. Done really well to get these people on board, isn't it? And you know,
it goes to show that you don't have to spend all the bucks. I mean, look what we did with Haller and Henderson a few years ago. Collectively over 80 million, they went down the toilet. So
Adam, I think Emerson and Regularly, what, they're 70 million together? I would never swap them for any of the guys we've got, mate. You know?
Bill, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, I think Dawson played very well. You know what we're going to get with Craig, and he's calm on the ball, and he won a lot of headers. I think if Diop played better against Genk, he might have come on yesterday, because I think Diop, he's played well this season, but he looked back to Diop of a couple of years ago where he just looked really shaky. And I think the switch from sticking Zuma to the left was very good to cover Salah, and then Dawson was helping Johnson out with Sadio Mane on the left, and obviously Robertson flying forward. So Dawson done very well.
James?
I thought Dawson was good. I thought he was good, but towards the end of the game, he was getting a bit all over the place, especially in the last minute. That ball over the top from the free kick, it's Dawson's fault when Mane peels off him, and if Mane puts that in, it's 3-3, it's a different game. But Dawson, what Dawson's cost is a bargain. Do you know what I mean? But I do feel that West Ham are looking at Coletta again, and just imagine if we've got Coletta and Zuma together, that would be a defence and half. Dawson looks decent, and he's done well for us for how much he's cost.
We've got to talk about it because, in my opinion, it was a great finish. Ian, is Origi the answer? The striker we've missed out on?
I think he's had his moments for Liverpool. I've not really seen too much of him, say, playing consistently and for a long time, or say getting many minutes on a match. I do think that he would add a little bit more, say, of a clinical finisher to our squad, which we seem to be missing. Antonio is sort of very bullish, and his finishing has got better over the last few seasons. But I'd like to see Origi. I think he could give us something different when Antonio's not working. Actually, say still quick, but say a little bit more clinical. I think he could add something. Definitely.
James, I know your opinion, but I think you're going to keep it short and sweet as well. We've said it, haven't we? We've said it.
Yeah, mate. He should have been here in the summer himself. Let's be honest, we're going out and pay 33.5 for Vlasic, and he ain't even on the bench. Do you know what I mean? And Origi's a good player. I think he's wasted at Liverpool. And let's be honest, that finish yesterday was a top finish from a decent player for me. And he's a good player. I love him at West Ham.
Adam, do you reckon Newman's going to find us a gem in January?
Well, we need a striker. I said it earlier, but Origi could be an answer. But I'm sure they will look into it. They'll look at all the options available, how much are they willing to spend. I'm just going to let them do what they want to do. To be honest, the recruitment, it's been good recently. We've got really nothing to complain about at the end of the transfer window, really. So hopefully they get a couple bodies in just to strengthen. And if that is Origi, so be it.
Bill?
Yeah, I wouldn't say no to Origi at all. His game time at Liverpool has been limited, and even more so since Diogo Jota's joined. So he's getting very limited game time. If he's lucky to get starting the Carabao Cup now, so he's unfortunately he's wasted there for his ability. So I'd definitely take him. He's got a good touch. The finish was absolutely fantastic yesterday. I mean, you always taught us youngsters shoot across the goal, and Fabian's getting absolutely no chance. You put the top keeper, put Neuer in goal or Courtois, they're not saving that. So brilliant finish, and he's got that pace, physicality. He's still at a good age. He's not past it at all. So if we even got him on loan or something in January, I'd snap your hand off personally.
we're moving to the part where who is it? Who calls it? Is it you, Adam, the man of the match, not including Declan Rice? Was it you who said that?
I have said that before.
I think this is going to be the most splittest man of the match ever. I think, like in a long while. And I'm going to start with you, Jazz. Who was your man of the match yesterday?
I think I've got to stick with what I said yesterday. I know it's great to score 3 goals, but I think if you look at Liverpool's record last few games, they've banged in 5 every game. I'll stick with Zuma. I think it's really important, especially with Ogbonna going off, to keep some kind of normality at the back, and I'm sure he helped that. He's kind of the leader, as we all know. So I'll stick with him, I think. It's all you need, a good defence against Liverpool. And, okay, they scored 2 goals, but I think that's the result, mate. 2 is nothing for them. So I'll go with him, yeah. Very difficult, though, to pick anyone out. They all had a good game, yeah.
Yeah. Bill?
For me, it's out of. Well, I'll tell you what. It's not the sponsors man of the match, Antonio.
Really? Are you sure? Do you want to think about that?
No, mate. I don't know what game they were watching, so it's not him, unfortunately. But it's out of Zuma or Fornals. I think Fornals, the way he switched his position, he played more in the middle, and really helped the midfield against a stacked midfield in Oxlade-Chamberlain, Henderson, and Fabinho. So, and he got the goal. It was brilliant. I'm going to go with Fornals. Yeah.
Before I ask anyone else, we've got 33 people in the chat. It just keeps on rising, and like normally, I think we might have to go on like 15 minutes more after we do man of the match because we've got. But if you are new around here, subscribe to us because we must be doing something right. If you are watching, and hit that like button, and everyone else, write in the chat who your man of the match was, and I'll go with you, James. Who was your man of the match? Has it changed since you watched the game back?
Pablo Fornals for me, mate. I'm not his biggest fan, as you know. Sometimes I don't. I get criticised for it, but I see something yesterday that I can understand why people love him. I'm a Ben Rama boy. I like Benny, but Fornals was world class yesterday, mate. Done everything. Assisted a goal, scored a goal, worked hard. His passing was bang on the money. His awareness was good. He was 10 out of 10 for me yesterday, mate. And for that to come from me says a lot. Do you know what I mean? So, he was top class. I think also what Kent just said there about Ben Johnson and Cresswell, both left back and right back. I thought Cresswell had a good game and all. Deserves a bit of credit for that. He kept Salah in his pocket all day and night, and today and all. So, 4-0 for me, mate. 100%.
Adam?
You've got to give it to Alisson, to be honest, for giving us 2 goals. But no, for me, 4-0. He was terrific yesterday. His work rate for me just sums him up, really. I was the same with you, James. I didn't really rate him when he came. I thought he was too lightweight for the league, and that's credit to him. I think he's got used to it. He's given him time to develop. We were still young when we signed him. He's still young now, really, so he's only going to get better. But yeah, that was one of his better games in the West Ham shirt. And the one thing I have to mention as well, he loves a goal against Liverpool, doesn't he?
Yeah,
2-3 now.
Yeah, no, definitely. Ian, for you?
For me, I think you could make a case for pretty much every player to win it. It's got to be Ben Johnson. He kept Mane quiet, he kept Robertson quiet on his own. And for a young lad to do that, where they've been ripping teams apart, just those 2 players, for him to keep them both quiet on his own, I think he's had a solid game there, and he's got to take man of the match for me.
It shows how well we played. Where we're talking about a number of players.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Brilliant effort all around.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like you said, it's all of a mixture. I've got Arsenal for life in it. Yeah, big up to you. Thank you, Mike. It's still on a high. Fornals man of the match. See, mine's Zuma. Mine's Zuma for me. Like I said, I know it's a tough decision moving over from left and right centre back, and he just done that very well. Obviously, he got his goal. And has any of you seen his post match with Fornals after the game? Has anyone heard that yet?
Yeah, I'll see it. Yeah,
no,
never seen it.
Oh yeah. You have to give that a watch, gents. Literally, it's unreal. And they asked him and Pablo as well. They were just saying it, and they went to Zuma. You've obviously come here. what's it like? And he said, it's one big family. And that just, that's just not just a testament for the players. It's a testament to the staff. It's just a great time to be a West Ham fan. And I'm not going to lie. And he wound me up yesterday. This is why we're going to go on for 10 minutes because we've got everyone in the chat. Can I just give a round of applause for the Moose again? I just love him with his comments. Obviously, 5 months ago he said West Ham are going to struggle when the fans come back, and now he's on about us being title contenders. And now we're title contenders. I've never been. Like I said, he should stick to flipping Bake Off or whatever he does, rate his food or whatever. We'll start with you, Jazz. Just what a statement that win was, and obviously proving people wrong. Do you reckon people have got to start taking this serious enough for people they want?
I think they already have. A lot of the people I know that are West Ham, and they were mentioning a lot of things. Like I mentioned, there's a Wolves fan. He's completely a nervous wreck at the moment because we've got them next, and he's not looking forward to that. And it's not been this season. It's been a good year and a half before that. It's a good couple of years, I'd say ever since he came back again. And then his last spell, it's been ever since David's been here. And that's why I'm more confident what's happening. I know it's not a fluke. It's been going on for a while, and we just carried on. And whoever joins the squad, I know it's not perhaps that many numbers coming in terms of signings, but I'd rather do what we're doing. And when you look at people like Manchester United recruitment process, which is absolutely mental, and you see Gary Neville saying, "Oh, it's a different Man United. We know what we're doing." And you got people like Sancho and Van den Beek being all over the place. Ronaldo, what is your recruitment policy? At least we know what our policy is. Yeah, it's a bit slow. We do take out time, but whoever comes in, and that includes Vlasic. Hopefully, we know he's a good guy. He is a good lad. He is trying, and hopefully, it works out for him. For me, it's not a fluke. Everyone here, Andy, it's not. I am really excited. I've been following the club for a long time, and yesterday, as an example, was the best game I've been to at the new ground for me. It's a great day for me. Great atmosphere, and you talk about that third goal, Andy. I used to sit 8 rows behind, and I went out running up the turnstiles, and I grabbed the 2-3 people I used to sit with. It's just that kind of. When that third goal went in, it was a big statement. We've done City, we've done sort of Man United in the past and recently, and Liverpool was the cherry on the cake for me. They are a serious team, and you look at the table, we're joint second. I know we're third, but we are joint second on points. And another thing is when you look at the team in 6th place, I think there's a good 5-6 point gap. There's a gap appearing, and at the beginning of the season, I can't forget what my hopes was just keep getting to Europe to keep Rice, and we're doing a little bit better than that, and long may that carry on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ian, for you?
I think Moyes has made us tenacious, and I don't think there's any team now that looks at the calendar and goes, "Oh, that's an easy fixture. We could nick something there." I think we're now a team that people dread playing, which is something that I don't think I could have said 5 years ago. And yeah, long may it continue. I'm happy.
Bill, do you reckon? I'm not going to lie. When I sort of looked at the schedule and you look over the last 3 weeks who we've beat. Obviously, we've beat Man City, beat Tottenham, we've beat Everton, and now Liverpool. That's not a fluke no more, is it? They've got to really take it seriously.
Yeah, it's not a flash in the pan, as you mentioned a stat earlier about this calendar year. Like that, you can't fluke that. You can't shit house that, can you? And we've deserved it with how we've played, like in terms of performances, and we've progressed as a side, in terms of keeping the ball better and things like that. And we're only getting better. And to beat a Liverpool side managed by Jurgen Klopp, one of the best managers in the world, with some stacked players, and who are going to fight for the league this season, that was a real statement yesterday. And hopefully. Obviously December's going to be tough with the schedules. I mean, Jamie O'Hara, I just don't even listen to what he says. Failed Billericay Town manager, forget him. But the schedule I think December might hit us, but that's why it's imperative to get a couple of bodies in January, and then we can keep this momentum going.
Adam, in your wildest dreams, did you see it going like this?
No chance, mate. Absolutely no chance. But We're taking it game by game. I'm not getting carried away. I think we could easily just get carried away by looking at the table now, but it is still a long way to go. We've still got some hard games coming up, and like I said, we've seen it all before. I mean, there was one season I always remember up to Park when we were in the Champions League spots under Big Sam. We ended up barely winning the game the second half of the season. So I'm not going to get my hopes up just yet, but I'm not saying our team's like that was back then, but it is good times at the moment, isn't it? And I actually feel like the ground, there's been a lot of criticism for it, but it is starting to feel a little bit like, I mean, beforehand it felt like a chore, but I think everyone's accepted it now, and it is becoming a difficult place for away teams to come, actually, and we're doing well.
James, do you think if, like you said, we're playing it game by game, but do you reckon the backroom staff have got to get the credit as well because they're keeping us on that level as well? Like you said, I think Moyes sort of said he plays it in games of 6 or something like that. I think he calls them like mini leagues, from my understanding. Do you reckon that's the key as well?
Yeah, backroom staff need to get a lot of credit, but I believe something special is happening, mate. And I'm going to be a bit positive on this one. And you've known me a while. I'm pretty sort of reserved and thinking, you know what? I don't know. Like, we've seen it all before. I've never seen West Ham this good in my life. And West Ham are performing. We've just took out a team who's unbeaten, and this unbeaten team we've just took out played Man City and Chelsea, and drew both of them games. And we've took them out. I believe something's happening, mate, at West Ham. And January, for me, can't come quick enough. So I think once we get to January, get 2 more people in there, a striker and a left back, and then we're rolling. And I do believe come May, whether it's top 4 or a cup, we might do something this year. It's been a long time coming. And as you know, I haven't been to the ground in 6 years, and it hurts me every day not going there. But I want to see us win something. It's been 41 years since the last time we won something. I don't want to wait another 41 years. So, Yeah, I believe something's happening.
We're going to quickly go around the room. Jazz, are we winning a trophy this year?
Yes. Europa, I think. Yeah.
Ian?
I think we're going to get to a Europa League final and a League Cup final. Whether we win them, I don't know. I think there could be a slip. I hate to say it, but I think we're going to be almost.
Bill?
Quarterfinals Europa League, and we're going to win the Carabao Cup.
Adam?
You know me. I'm not always. I don't like saying things because I don't want to jinx it. I feel like we've got a chance of winning something this year. I don't know what it may be. FA Cup, League Cup, who knows? I don't really care. As long as we win something. Because I haven't seen anything won in my lifetime. So anything will do me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So
yeah. This is a quick. Oh, I thought we was going to go, but this is a good question. And on, let's have a look. This is a question. I'll save Gary's question after, but this is a one. Would you take top 4 and not win a trophy over a cup? Jazz?
Um,
I love putting him on the spot.
Oh God. Yeah, I'll take a top 4. I think. Yeah, I think so.
No.
No. It's a hard question.
If we win the Europa League, we get a Champions League place anyway. So everyone's a winner.
Yeah. Bill?
Yeah, I want the trophy.
Yeah.
I want the trophy.
Yeah. Like you said, like Arsenal said it as well. What was it? 24 years in a row, whatever it was. We got top 4, but they never got the hands on the trophy, though, did they? No. You don't get a trophy for it. Adam?
Got to win the cup. I mean, let's put it this way. No one talks about Tottenham's third place finishes, do they? They haven't won a trophy. And it's a trophy all day. You have to win a trophy when you've got the squad of the players. Because at the end of the day as well, with the players that we've got like Rice and stuff, if we win a trophy, it's going to want them to make them stay. That's the main thing. That's what you want as a footballer. You want medals in your cabinet and want all sorts. So, yeah.
Can you imagine? I think I don't think I could take that. I think I'd cry for about a week.
Yeah, be
honestly, I think I would. We'll just put these comments, and then Gary's asked another question. If you want to hang around, if not, you can do one. It's entirely up to you. Let's have a look. Cup. We can do both. Let's have a look here, Mike. No win a cup all day for me. Yeah, I'll take Europa. Yeah, everyone's saying that. Scott saying, all rise, David Moyes. Yeah. I know this is my answer. I know this is Jazz's answer, but I'm going to put it up here for you now. As your thoughts on GS changed because of our success? We'll start with Bill on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think they deserve credit for rehiring Moyes. Might have seen as a cheap option, but look at the benefits of it. So I think that they've still got a way to go. Yeah, it's not at the forefront of the fans' minds how well we're doing. Obviously, how we're doing on the pitch, but there's still some problems there. But the where we're going, it's not, as I say, it's not the big problem at the moment.
Ian?
My opinion hasn't changed on that. They've not directly attributed to anything that's happening on the pitch. Any results we're getting, that's all down to the players and the backroom staff. They deserve no credit whatsoever for that. That's a mentality Moyes has brought in, and the sooner they've gone, the better.
In my opinion, before I get to you, Adam, this they reckon this is going to be done shortly. The new investor, I think the end of the 23 season they'll be gone.
Mm-hmm.
But is that the way the West Ham fans are looking at it now? We've not got on with them, so we just carry on.
Well, we're playing well, so it's going to take the mind off what's going off the pitch. So, my opinions have probably changed slightly because the only thing, like Bill would say, you got to give them a bit of credit. They did hire Moyes, whether you like it or not, whether it was a cheap option or whatever. They did do him, but I think it is down to Moyes' success because he's the one who wants the players to bring in, and that's where the success has come from. So it's nothing to do with the board in terms of our success, really. And like you said, if they do go in the next year or two, then so be it. Good riddance as far as I'm concerned, and let's hope we've got a better investment that will come in. But right now, I'm not bothered about that. I don't want negativity around the club when it's that good because it's about time we're positive and everything's going well because that's what we've been wanting for a while as West Ham fans.
The one thing before I get to you, James, the one thing I will give him credit for is like what Bill said. One, for obviously rehiring Moyes for what he's done, and the second thing is they've shut up.
Yeah.
Nothing. They've not. I know David Gold obviously done his interview on TalkSport today, but he's not really said anything else with regards to that. So, James, can you give them credit for being quiet?
Nah, not for me, mate. This runs deeper than football with me personally.
Yeah.
Even when they sort of left Upton Park, there was people whose homes was lost, businesses was lost, and it goes way beyond football. For me personally, I know people who threatened suicide and literally got into a lot of debt because of them, and they run off and sailed off into the sunset to make their own family's wealth better. For me, they've done well for hiring Moyes back, but they had egg on their face because they thought they went for the 5-star treatment in Pellegrini and it didn't work out, and they had to come back with their tail between their legs. Do you know what I'm saying? But if Moyes gets all the credit, the players get all the credit, and if they want to do something for this club, they need to leave and hand it over to someone who can take us to the next level. And once they do that, then we will become a next level club. We're getting there, but we need investment. And they can't take us to the next level, I'm afraid.
See, I've just had a look here. This is what Epic's just putting out. I've heard the chat fans say that Sparta Prague guy likes to tell the manager who to pick. No way is David Moyes going to stand for that.
No.
I think Sparta, no disrespect, Sparta Prague, he's probably like, this is obviously all hearsay and stuff like that. Jazzy couldn't get away with that, could he?
Nah, I don't believe that.
Could they get any worse than? Can you get any worse than GSB?
You know, I like
Mike Ashley, Pie Capital didn't sound that great. So yeah.
You know, I like when things are looking good. Something always unpredictable happens. But I think the owners were the right people to come along when they did and stabilize the club financially somewhat. But to go to the next level, we need someone else, and hopefully they're okay. Yeah.
I think the way you've got to look at it is, as well, like this season's been brilliant. Last season was brilliant, but it may be 1 or 2 years of success, but if we want to be that team, this needs to happen year in, year out. It can't just be a one-off. And then you say, when you need an investor to come in, that's what we need to be consistently challenging for top 4, which is why we moved to the ground in the first place. So,
like you said, Adam, we're doing our job. We're selling it every game, mate. 60,000 Europa, 60,000 League Cup. Which other team, not many could do that.
I mean, I'd take to perspective, we went to Genk last week. I mean, there was about 1,000 fans in the ground or so, with some buying tickets to sit in the home end or whatever. And then there was still another 2,000 odd in the pub still around the corner. So that just goes to show that the team are being backed by everyone. And that's what we want at the moment.
No, definitely. Before we finish up, obviously we've got some players going out on international duty. So obviously fingers crossed for no things, but just wanted to keep everyone in the loop. So tomorrow I'm doing an appreciation night. It'll be James as a usual guest with Mike. We're doing appreciation for Steve Lomas, talking about his memories. So every week I pick a player. Obviously I'm up for other people suggesting it, so if you look out for that tomorrow, obviously there's an international break, and of course we'll be back. Jazz, we're probably cutting it fine. It'll probably be the next round of shows, won't it? The fantasy probably now because of the time, isn't it?
Me and Mike are ready for 8 o'clock. We're ready.
Oh yeah. So for 8 o'clock, people tonight, if you're not doing anything, Jazz and Mike on a Monday. I don't personally do it, but I know a lot of people may do fantasy football. So Jazz and Mike are going to talk about their teams, how they've got on, players to suggest. So basically, like a fantasy football tips night. Does any of you do fantasy?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, when I can remember to change my semen there.
But no, like I said, anyone who does do it, speak to Jazz because it's not my cup of tea. So I don't do it. So Jazz, you don't mind having guests on with you and Mike, do you as well? So that'd be all part of the fun. And obviously, Jazz will put all of the details on our Twitter again as well of our league. I know you're probably in some leagues, but it'd be nice to do the competition as well. But the one thing I will say is I want to thank everyone. Like obviously the guests that we've had on tonight, and our family's starting getting bigger and bigger, and obviously everyone in the chat. And on behalf of me, I think Jazz may say something as well. I want to thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure this last 2 months, and it's a great channel to work for and people we work with. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you to everyone on this one and also in our WhatsApp groups and everyone else. And like you said, yeah, the family's growing, and we had a couple of more people wanting to join, but it would have got a little bit too much. So, but thanks for the interest, as you said, and we'll be working on, hopefully, if we can get a Christmas gathering together with all you guys and everyone else, that'll be brilliant. So we're working on a plan. Hopefully, if we can find a date that suits everyone, it'd be great to get together for some curry and some rum, I think.
Yeah.
Christmas party, the West Ham Reunited Christmas party.
Yeah. And Tom, you've spoilt it. The Mido appreciation is after Lomas. How dare you? Mido and Savio are my next two.
Freshfielders put Mido, Roger Johnson double kick. That's a brutal show.
Oh no, but no. Like I said, I thank everyone in the chat and young Jake. If you've not followed him on West Ham Unofficial, he is currently doing a preview reaction talking about all things West Ham as well as all other teams, and you probably know who he is, but I'm going to put it up here 1 second wherever he's gone. Little Jake, where are you? Little Jake. There we go. West Ham Unofficial. So step on over to there, and then once Jake's done, come back to us while you're eating your dinner, whatever, because Jazz and Mike will be doing the fantasy football show. Ian, it's a pleasure. Thanks for coming on, mate.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, Bill, pleasure, mate. Thank you.
Thanks for having us, mate.
Adam, thank you. And of course,
as always,
Mr. Fever. And thanks everyone in the chat. And before we go, I'm not going to do the usual come on your irons as well. What are we? Yeah, fucking.
Fucking
That's it.
massive.
That's it. Take care, everyone. See you later.
See you guys.
So there, boys.
Okay.